I'm going to have to paraphrase here, but there's a phrase that goes something like, if you reach the bottom, then the only way is up. So here's Virtual Pinball, the very bottom of the barrel when it comes to pinball games on the Mega Drive. Virtual Pinball has serious issues that basically stem from not understanding pinball very well. In fact, I'd say this is the sort of game you'd get if you explained pinball to someone who'd never played it, and then they went and developed a rough estimation of what they imagined off the back of your description. Oh, so you use flippers to bounce a ball around a table littered with bumpers? I can manage that. Virtual Pinball cannot manage that. The real issue here is its focus on being a pinball construction kit first and a pinball game second. You see, in Virtual Pinball you can use a set of pre-made elements to build your own tables, which makes for a decent little distraction, but the elements you're given can only simulate a rough approximation of pinball, and nothing as fluid and interesting as a really well-built pinball table. So what the developers have done is pre-built a whole host of interesting tables to demonstrate how good the construction kit can be. But all it really does is highlight its shortcomings. All the tables include boring, tiled background art and confusing gimmicks that shriek, hiss and buzz, and it's incredibly abrasive on the old ears. Then there's the table gimmicks themselves, which all feel a little off. You can build ramps and tracks for the balls to interact with, but you can't make them curved and have to opt to make something angular instead. This doesn't particularly work well with a ball, and it means that you can never get the ball to go where you really want. Some tables even include mismatched flippers, which often means the gutters are now larger and more difficult to avoid. Then there's the pins that are randomly scattered in the main playfield, making for more of an obstruction than something you actually want to aim for. Tables often feel more like the Lucky Hit parlour game from Shenmue 2, and you can't really play them with any sort of skill. You more than often find there's a higher scoring area near the top of the table that the ball launches into, but once it falls down into the lower area of the table where you can't score as high, it's almost impossible to skillfully get the ball back into a high score area. Guttering your balls is an inevitability that comes sooner rather than later, and it's not something you can really avoid through skillful play. Virtual Pinball is a frustrating, annoying and ugly pinball sim that favours quantity over quality. There are 29 pre-built tables to play, and they all suffer from the same problems we've already detailed. If your construction kit can't power a single decent pinball table out of a possible 29, then you know something is seriously wrong. Avoid this game like the plague.